Hello guys, this is Lich here. In the last few days I've been trying to find a build that can do well in the high corruptions and relatively easy to play. So I'm looking around and I stumbled upon the Wraith Lord. I've been having the helm for a while but never really touching it, so I decided to give it a try. And I played it for around 3 to 4 days, and I'm also trying the Merchant Guild, but I won't talk about that now since I think there's enough people talking about that one. And to be honest, it is not in a good spot, but it is what it is. But with the build, I like the build because it's very casual. It's a minion build. You don't have to think about a lot of things, and I'm currently at 800, still doing very fine with, and the gear that I have right now is not even, I don't think it's end game yet. There's a few unit I need to put more LP on. Still working on that one, but yeah. So let's get into the skills first. So for the skills, number one is Infinite Shade, and we're going to get influences, different flame. This make the Infinite Shade able to attach into minions. This will give the minions haste, and this basically make the Infinite Shade duration is unlimited, so we don't have to recast it over and over again. And subjugations, the last point is to Manic Pyre. This is going to give out cast speed, attack speed, movement speed to the Wraith Lord. On the top here, the most important thing, this is all the travel node in order to get corrosions. This basically make the Infinite Shade give armor shred every second. This node is not mandatory. You can, I think there's a lot of, I think there is another setup where you use the Cracking Flame and Brimstone. So 2 point here and 4 point here, and this basically inflicts slow into the nearby enemy. The rest you can put in ignition, something like that. The most important point is this area. It make it able to attach to minion. The rest is really up to you. And for the transplant, it's pretty straightforward. Accurate Favor for Haste and Frenzy, and Rain of Blood for travel point to Doombringer, so we can apply Bone Curse. Just a little bit extra damage. I don't think it's matter that much, but and then Fleeting From to increase cast speed and recovery. And this is travel node and into bone armor. So this make every time we transfer we get the bone armor. And this two node, this is increasing bone armor effect, and this increases iterations. For transplant, it's pretty straightforward. The next one, this is the summon rate, and summon rate we're going to take locus of resurrections, and I personally take locus of that, but I will explain about it later a little bit. Going down into Haunting, Twin of Spirit, and into Sequel of Avarice. Twin Spirit basically to limit the maximum rate into 2. This is because the Wraith Lord will priority summon rate first before attacking, so having the maximum rate into 2, the Wraith Lord can just summon 2 and keep attacking. Sequel of Avarice just to increase size, damage, and health. And Reapers, this is flat damage into the Wraith Lord. This is very, very potent. And Necrotic Hunger, this is to increase necrotic damage and give a little bit of leech. And this is all its travel point. The critical strike doesn't matter. The leech, however, does help a little bit for the survivability of the rage. And the most important one is this Dust of the Living. It is going to give a 90% of critical multiplier. The reason why the critical strike chance doesn't matter because there's a node in the dread shit. They're going to make the minions always crit. So that's why. And for the locus of that, this especially gives 45% more damage. The consequences is you cannot move. And the reason why I'm taking this because number one, I tried without this, and there's a lot of time where the rate is just passed through me. I don't know why. Maybe the movement is too fast, but the rate is just passed through me. So for whatever reason, so kind of don't like that one. And this one gives increased DPS, so why not? So I take locus of that. And if you do not want to take this one, you can put it into the Necrotic Hunger. Now for the third shit, we're going to take Spectre Presence. This is travel node. We're going to take Lone Watcher. This make the dread shit maximum is only 1, and this give bunch of attack speed and cast speed, and this one give a lot of damage, and this one also attack speed and cast speed. I don't think the plan really matters. Lingering Doom, this is flat necrotic damage, and all for 1. This basically make the dread shit only above the target, and it gives extra 40% damage. And the egoisms, this is the node that I'm talking before where the minions always crit. This make the dread shit have a cooldown 18 seconds, which basically means that if you miss your dread shit, you kind of have to wait for it to cool down. So there's a little bit of downside of that one, but the minion always crit is just too good. And the last one is Deadlock. Deadlock is also the optional part. I take this because in the summon raid I take levels of that, so the raid is already not moving. This specially make the Wraith Lord taunt the enemy around it, and it's specially just to make the monster attack the Wraith Lord instead of you, so it's safer for you. These two just level for point, and especially make like increased buff effect per missing health. I really don't think it's that important. Most of the time your Wraith is in a full life. Either it's a full life or it's just dead. So there's only two states. And there's another variance of this when I see that people take this node. Basically, the decay become poisons, but the poison is permanent. So this end up making the Wraith Lord die a lot faster. But you have access to Doom Rod, which this is basically another 45% more damage. The damage is huge, but I kind of annoyed by this node, so I end up unspecking out of it. But if you really want to try, you can actually put 1 point on this one and 3 point on this, taking 2 point on this, 1 point on this, and 1 point on this. The damage is pretty huge, but it's just the poison kind of make it tricky to play. This is an option if you want to try. And the last one is Volatile Zombie. And for the Volatile Zombie, the most important part is Fatal Force. This make when the zombie dies is create 2 parasites. And this one is also the same thing. When the zombie dies, it creates Skeleton Vanguard. And the reason for 2 of this node, because whenever you summon another minion other than Wraith, the Wraith Lord will prioritize consuming them, and you will get like a flat 10 spell damage per minion. What we're going to do with the Volatile Zombie is basically stack a lot of minions, like small one, and that in the end buff the Wraith Lord. And this is how you see some people can like 1 or 2 shot the boss. Pull off the grave, this clearing threshold, and this node especially make the Volatile Zombie apply mark for that. This is increased damage taken by 25%. The bottom here, this basically make when the zombie explode, it heal you for the portion of their maximum health. This one is to convert that the healing become healing ward instead of health. Because we are a low life build, so it's better to heal the ward. For the passive tree, for the Acolyte, it's pretty straightforward. 8 point into forbidden knowledge. This is intelligence. We are stacking a lot of intelligence in this build. And this one basically a level 4 point, 1 vitality, and this one give minion cast speed. Very important for clear. And this is a travel node, just 1 into this one in order to access unnatural reservations. This is going to give us 40% ward retentions. And into the necromancer, 8 point into elixir of hunger. This is going to give up life, and the most important part, going to give 10% cast speed into the minion too. And Rising Army, this increase cast speed, damage, and attack speed. Curse Blood increase necrotic damage, pretty straightforward. This one give water retentions. This one give attack cast speed again for the minion. This one give health. Moonlight Pyre, this give flat necrotic damage and fire damage into the minion. Rest of the Undead, this is basically travel point. 3 requirement to open this. This is going to give us critical multiplier. The minion chill is pretty good, but the most important one is the critical multiplier. For the right of the Undead, is really depending on what your gear. If you're lacking a lot of elemental resistance, you can kind of take more of this node. It's going to cover your elemental resistance for a while until you fix your gear to able to reduce it into 3. And the last one is Vein of Malice, and this is basically every time we cast a spell, you're going to sacrifice 5% of your life, which is basically nothing because we are low life, and that's going to grant your minion haste and frenzy. So this is for the necromancer, and we have 28 point into Lich, and this one is going to give us 10 intelligence and mana regions. This is just a requirement, 25% health, 25 health, and this is 5 vitality. And these 2 not just to open, just so we have access to this here, because we need to spend 20 points. And this one going to give us 16 intelligence. The reason why we put a lot of intelligence into this build, because intelligence scale your ward, and intelligence also scale your minions. So you have the offense and defense at the same time. That's why I like to stack intelligence in this build. So for the items, we will begin with the unique first. And the first one is a Wraith Lord Harper. And this is the one that's going to enable the build. Basically what it did is, now when you use the summon Wraith, it's going to summon this big guy instead. This is the Wraith Lord. And for the body armor, we will use Ensanguinous. What this armor do is you're going to lose health per second, and the health that you lose that way will convert into ward. And this is basically become a low life build. So we are stacking ward. For the PoE player, imagine ward like an energy shield. The same goes for the boots and the glove. But the boots and the glove, you only use the last step of living and frostbite shackles if you're able to transfer the experimental affix. So if you do not have like this one, frostbite shackle, I haven't transferred the experimental affix yet. You will use an assault weapon like this, which is basically for the boots. You want movement speed, you want intelligence, and for suffixes you want hyper health and another health or resistance. And for the experimental affix, you want minion teleport with you when you use a travel skill. If you're able to transfer the experimental affix into the unique like this one, I'm getting lucky and I managed to transfer the items via temporal sanctum, and then you can use the unique. But before you do that one, just use the exalted item like this one. How you transfer this is via a temporal sanctum, and when you see a unique like this in last epoch, there's a thing called legendary potential. So basically when you have like one legendary potential like this one, when you go into temporal sanctum, you beat the boss, there is a room where you can combine two items, one unique and one exalted. And if your unique item have legendary potential, it can take the stat from the exalted item and move it into the unique items. This is how I get the experimental affix into these unique items. For the glove, the experimental affix you want is the current health loss per second. This is the same stat that in the Exsanguinous, and the same stat in the last step of living. If you can transfer that into frostbite shackles, and you will use the frostbite shackles like this. Because I haven't used it, so I'm still using exalted items. For the exalted items, the stat you want is for the affixes. For the prefix, you want minion damage or minion health, you want intelligence. For the suffixes, you want hyper health and resistance and crit stack avoidance, depending on what you need. For the relic, there is an option to use ambition of an erase acolyte. This is a weaver item. So basically with the weaver item, if you equip it and you farming around, you have experience, it will convert the experience into stats. In this case, we have void resistance, health regeneration, and so on and so forth. But all of the stat you get is random, so it's really hard to get the stat that you need into these items. I haven't able to get it, so that's why I'm still using exalted items. For the exalted items, the affixes you want is for the prefix, intelligence, and minion damage or minion health. For the suffixes, you want health, resistance, or critical avoidance, depending on what you need. For the ring, if possible, try to use turquoise ring, because turquoise ring gives you minion damage, minion health, and minion critical strike multiplier. In my opinion, it's just too good to miss on. If you just started, just use any base, but after you able to have more items drops, try to make one with the turquoise ring. For the amulet, for the prefixes is minion damage and minion health, and for the suffixes it's basically health and resistance and critical avoidance, depending on what you need. And the bases, I'm using turquoise amulet. There's another option for this is Oracle Amulet. This basically make you take less damage over time. In early corruptions, this is not necessary, but from what I heard and what I saw when people doing high corruptions, the damage over time is getting more and more annoying. So this is an alternative base that you can use, but otherwise use Turquoise Amulet. You get minion damage. For the weapons, there's a few options, but in my opinion, 100x is the best. This is Soul Harvester of the Coven. The stat that you want is all in the suffix, so the prefix doesn't matter what it is. But for the suffixes, you want minion spell damage and bow damage. You want minion melee damage and spell damage. The third suffixes you can get is minion necrotic penetrations. So this is 3 stats that you want. The other options is using 200 axe like this. This is a bone sight. The stat is the same, but I tried this before, and in my opinion, the damage increase is not that much. Like, at least it's not worth it for me to lose a lot of ward, because when I using 200 axe, I cannot use a catalyst, and this catalyst basically give me almost like more than 2000 ward. So I don't think using the 200 axe is worth it, so I'm not recommending it. For the unique that you can use, if you're able to transfer the 3 stats that I mentioned before, or at least one of them, because like in sword, I think you can only get the minion melee and spell damage. So if you're able to transfer into this can be an option. And the first one is Frozen Light. This make your minion deal more cold and necrotic damage to chill enemy, and we do chill the enemy. Coronal stasis is give ward per second, and it gives intelligence. The last one is one. This one is, I think, is the most interesting one. It's Wraith of the Grave. This make your minion spell deal more damage, deal increased damage. And the most important part is it increase minion cast speed. Minion cast speed is one thing that's going to make your echo farming a lot faster. For the Wraith of the Grave, a little bit caveat about this one because it's a 1. It gives you 4 spell damage. And the problem with this is going to be Infinite Shield, because if we do Infinite Shield onto the Wraith Lord, you see the Wraith Lord taking damage. And by using Wraith of the Grave, it basically increases the damage that your Wraith Lord going to take. That's one thing to be pay attention when you're using Wraith of the Grave. That's going to make your Wraith Lord a bit squeezier. This item gives me a lot of wards, and that is why I like to use one-handed and Catalyst. And for the Catalyst, the base you want to use is Opulent Focus. This is going to give you intelligence, word per second, and word retentions. The word retention go up to 86%, so this can give you more word. For the affixes, and in the prefix, you want minion damage and minion health. For the suffixes, you want word per second. Resistance or critical avoidance is up to you for the last one. And for the belt, and the experimental affix you want on the belt is Volatile Zombie Summon on potion use. This is especially when I'm using a potion, I will summon a Volatile Zombie. And how many zombie you summon is especially depending on the tier of the experimental affix. And this zombie will be consumed by the Wraith. And it will keep eating all the minions, and that's especially how the Wraith Lord get a lot of spell damage stacking there. For the prefix, you want minion damage and minion health. And for the suffix, you want hyper health and increased health, if you can. That's because the more health you have, that will scale your ward too. So that's about the belt, and I think that's all about the items. And for the idols, it's very straightforward. You want increased health, you want increased ward retentions, and you want cold resistance. Remember, Frostbite Shackles, it converts your cold resistance into ward, anything above the 75%. So your cold resistance will also transfer into ward retentions. They're going to give you more ward. For the blessing, for the Black Suns, I'm using Fort Resistance. There's another options if you're able to keep your Fort Resistance in your gear. You can change it into health. I think there's one with maximum of 70 flat health. Ending the Storm is word per second. Reign of the Dragon, critical strike avoidance. Age of Winter, physical resistance. This is the same with the Black Sun. If you can cap your physical resistance in your gear, you can change this one into armor. And Spirit of Fire is increased minion damage, or the other option is also increased armor. And so for the playstyle, it's pretty straightforward because it's a minion build. Whenever you come into the Echo, you summon your Wraith, you give them Infernal Shed, and you give them Dread Shed. And I always recommend, if the first time you come into the Echo, resummon the Wraith, because sometimes it just gets stuck and you don't want to attack. So to make things a lot easier, just resummon the Wraith. Basically, just walk around the map and make sure to maintain the Dread Shed and try to not miss the Dread Shed. This is probably the most annoying part of the build. You have to maintain Dread Shed, and the Dread Shed sometimes just go everywhere. Yeah, but that's, I think, the only downside for me playing this build. The playstyle is pretty chill, pretty relaxed. The minion is the one who's going to do all the work for you, and what you need to do is just trying to not die. In the higher corruptions, you kind of want to keep clicking your Volatile Zombie, especially like feed your Wraith Lord, so you'll be able to deal more damage. The higher the corruption you go, you will have to buff them from time to time, because the higher corruptions, the more health the enemy will have. I will also show how you deal with the boss, and basically you just click all your potions that going to make you summon all your zombie, and your Wraith are going to consume it, and then you can deal a lot of damage to the boss. That's basically how it's played. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So this is my version of the Wraith Lord. I see a lot of people playing this already. I think this is also one of the most popular builds. So yeah, I think this is all I have for you today, and thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.